Finally, we're going to look at a number of paragraphs written by columnists that you might have seen in magazines or newspapers. The first is written by George Will in an essay entitled, "As Einstein Knew, Everything is Relative." Will starts off, "Science offers no guarantees." This is his topic sentence. The rest of the paragraph is going to talk about different fields of science and how they've changed some of our views over the years. He starts, "Astronomy evicted us from our presumed place at the center of the universe many centuries before we learned that center is unintelligible in an expanding universe where space and time are warped." So here's our first example of astronomy. "And before 19th century biology further diminished our sense of grandeur by connecting us with undignified ancestors, 18th century geology indicated that seashells unearthed on mountaintops proved that Earth has a longer, more turbulent, and unfinished history than most creation stories suggest." So now he gives two more examples of biology and geology. Then he argues December 26, 2004 brought another geological challenge to the biblical notion of an intervening, caring God. Here he's referring to, of course, the tsunami that erupted in Asia. So his topic sentence is that science offers no guarantees, and he gives three, you could actually argue four, examples of how scientific developments, or in the last example, a geological event, may be changing some philosophical ideas that we have. A short paragraph. Many columnists who are limited in the space they can use have to write in short paragraphs, but nonetheless a good example of what we've been talking about. George Will continues in another article, "Cap over the Wall." He starts off this paragraph, "Democracies generally do difficult things only under the lash of necessity." This is his topic sentence. Look how he develops it. "The British tardily brought Churchill to power in May 1940 only because Hitler's tanks were heading for the Channel ports." This is his first example to support his topic sentence of how democracies do generally difficult things only under the lash of necessity. In the 1930s, Americans fundamentally changed their relationship to the federal government only because they were afraid that absent sweeping changes, they might be consigned to permanent stagnation. So he gives an example of America in the 1930s. In the 1960s, the nation addressed its civil rights shortcomings only because they had ignited a crisis, threatening domestic tranquility. So he gives a third example. Note that Will does not tend to write concluding sentences at the end of his paragraphs, possibly because of an effort to save space, perhaps related to that because the paragraphs are fairly short to begin with. But note that the topic sentence is given first, and examples to support the topic sentence are then written. In addition, note that unity is preserved. No sentences stray from the topic. Robert Samuelson is an economist. He appears in Newsweek and other newspapers. This essay is called "Competition's Anxious Victory." He writes, "On competition, we Americans have mixed feelings." This is his topic sentence. Look at how he supports it. "We cherish its promises, lower prices, more choices, greater freedom, and detest its disruptions, lost jobs, vanished companies, shattered communities." This is his first statement about the mixed feelings we have toward competition. We cherish some things about it and we detest other things about it. Then he continues, "Witness airlines. Everyone likes lower fares. They've dropped 20% since 1998, adjusted for inflation, but only the hard-hearted are unmoved by the parallel distress, layoffs, salary cuts, bankruptcies." Then he continues, more specifically talking about one particular airline. In 2004, United Airlines lost $1.6 billion, Delta $5.2 billion. These once mighty carriers may have poor business plans. Their unions' labor costs may have become excessive. Still, competition is a harsh disciplinarian. He concludes his paragraph referring back to his point about competition. But the paragraph itself is developed with general statement about how we have mixed feelings toward competition, specifically focusing in on airlines and giving statistics to show his point, then specifically focusing on specific airlines, United Airlines and Delta, and then summing up his point. Again, a short paragraph, but an effective one in communicating his point. Hopefully these examples from George Will and Paul Samuelson help you see how professional writers develop their paragraphs.